Hello, how are we doing today? My name is Spectrum Dominus, and today we are cleaning cards for PSA. We have 4 different 10-ish groups. Some have 12 and some have 8 or whatever. But we have about 50 total cards, 40-something cards, to send to PSA. In fact, I think we're sending 41 total. That is because this time we have 2 people doing it with us for the first time. One Project Ancient, my friend Lucas, and another a gentleman from work his name's Ricky. They are sending in Pokemon cards with me. So for the first time, I'm sending TCG cards in. The reason why we're doing 41 is, unlike in the past, or I should say like in the past, sometimes that's happened, the TCG is separate, different from the football that I'm sending in with, or the football and baseball that I'm sending in with Shane and myself. So we have 2 different shipments going. We're packaging them together, sending them off together, but we have a TCG one that is one price, and we have the football baseball one that is a different price. So the first 2 videos we're going to be doing the TCG cards. The second 2 videos, there'll be 4 videos in the series before we do the opening one as the 5th. So the first 2 will be TCG cards, Pokemon, and then I think there's 3 other types, at least 2 other types. No, 3 other types, because it's Magic the Gathering, Star Wars Young Jedi, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer Class of 99 trading card games. Those will be in the first 2 videos. I think everything in video today, video on this one, is Pokemon, and then the others will have a mixture of these 4. And then the video 3 and video 4 will be baseball and football, Shane's cards, and my cards. Now, I have to tell you that because of this, I had to kind of cheat a little. I know we've been sorting cards for grading purposes, and I show you everything I look through. Well, for the first time, what happened was I collected the cards from Lucas, I collected the cards from Ricky, and I still needed to make up the minimum of 20, which is the part I didn't say. The reason we're doing 41 is I got 20 from one and 20 for the other to hit the minimum numbers, but I couldn't decide between 2 cards to get down from 21 to 20, so the TCG grouping has 21 cards and the sports has 20. But I was looking through, trying to find stuff. I collected their cards. I still needed 12 cards of my own to add, and I decided to look. We had sorted the Buffy stuff before, but I had some other stuff I wanted to do, and so I pulled the Buffy card that was back here. I pulled the Young Jedi card that was back here, but I decided to look through Raw Deal, which is my wrestling set. The cards in there, there's some Kurt Angle first year cards in there that I was going to consider sending. I looked through that. I pulled some. I have them set to the side, but then I ended up not sending any. And then I looked through my Magic the Gathering decks, and that'll be in the next video, but we have some stuff to talk about when we talk about that. But I'm sorry that you guys missed out on that information. But let's get these first ones cleaned. I have their cards here. Those are theirs. And then the ones of mine that we're doing in this video are going to be the 5 tag cards. You've seen these cards before. These are the cards that we bought off of Whatnot for $25 each, I believe. They were in tag bags. He didn't know what was in each bag. You're buying them randomly. He opened it up, and I have 5 cards. If you've watched the channel, you've seen these cards before. We're going to crack these and send them to PSA. I like them in tag, but you know I want to be uniform. That's the plan. So all of those, I'd also like to see a comparative. 2 of those are 9s and 3 of those are 10s. I want to see if they all come back 10s, if there's a mixture up and down. I want to see how easy it is to open and crack the tag slab. So we'll do all that. But first, let's get started. We're going to... These are Ricky's 5. Let's do Lucas. Lucas gave me just 1 card. All right, so we'll start with Lucas. So here we go. This is Lucas's card. Now, you guys know I don't know much about Pokemon. I didn't really look up prices. I know that both Ricky and Lucas said, hey, we may have to pay a premium upcharge if these grade out at 10, depending on how it goes. We'll see if that's the case. But this is a Gengar VMAX something. If you're a Pokemon guy, feel free to put in the comments below. Tell me all the good and bad that is this card. Alright, we're going to give them a nice little once over with the on the microfiber cloth, with the microfiber cloth. Just making sure I don't see anything that makes me think that there's wax buildup or anything that might be able to be brushed off. Looks like it's in pretty decent condition. I hope, as always, I hope that if we only get 15 10s, that they come. Lucas gets 1, Ricky gets 5, Shane gets 4. That's 10 right there. That would only give me 5. If we only get 10 10s, then I hope it's theirs. I honestly, and you guys, you can see I bought the bigger ones now. I got the Card Savers size 1. The first ones I bought, well, first of all, they weren't the same brand. They were Ultra Pro. These are the Cardboard Gold Card Savers, which I think are the much more commonly used one. They still keep them from shifting. They're wider, so I'm not forcing them down in. Maybe that will help with our gem rate. But there's one. All right. So here we go. In no particular order, the 5 that are Ricky's cards. We got the Zapdos. Rockets Zapdos. Zapdos. There's no Zapdos. And again, I looked these up. I had to look these up to try to figure out. As someone who doesn't know Pokemon, it was difficult. I could just type in Rockets Zapdos, and then 30 versions of it came up, and I had to figure out, was it a different language? Was it which version of foil was it? Which, what set it's in? I had to go through all that and figure that out. It was a lot more difficult. It was even more difficult than Magic the Gathering, because Magic the Gathering, like, the artwork changes on every set. And yes, it has the same thing as, it's got this little star there. On other cards, it's not a star, it's a different shape, and that tells you what set it's from. But even that is not as clear as, say, Magic the Gatherings. It's just not as obvious to me what the which card I put. So I hope that I picked every Pokemon card correctly going there. I don't think it matters. I think they'll be able to tell if I screwed it up. I hope. But I do like these larger card savers. It also means that if I send things like Sports Flicks or Relics or Action Pack cards, that they're not being crushed by the card saver with the tighter card saver 2 instead of the card saver 1s. Alright, the second one is Ninetales. I like Ninetales. I know Ninetales from Pokemon Go. I play a little Pokemon Go. I should say I used to play a little Pokemon Go. I still have it on my phone. Still turn it on randomly every once in a while. Every time I turn it on, I have to wait for an update, which means that I don't play it often enough if I have to update it every time I turn it on. But I do have it, so I do know the characters, a lot of the characters, the Pokemon, I should say. I don't know a lot of the characters when you get past, like, Ash. There are other characters that aren't Pokemon. But these are very, very nice looking cards, and I'm under the impression that in the grand scheme of things, they're pretty valuable cards. It's not like I'm holding a Shaquille O'Neal rookie card in my hand that I have some kind of a guess to the value. So, but these card savers definitely make it easier. Now I am holding a Shaquille O'Neal rookie card in my hand. That's why I said it. But next we're going to do Raichu. Now these first three were just characters I knew. The foils were just the picture part up here. None of this is foil. Just this picture is foiled. They have things like foils and reverse foils and full arts, and I don't. I like it. I want to get to know it. I want to understand it. I'd really like to start buying Magic. Well, I do. I want to start buying Magic cards too, or Pokemon cards. But it's, if you don't understand it, it's very confusing, and it feels like it would take a while to get the concepts and get what you're looking for. And I would go out, buy a pack, and I'd see a Charizard, which is the end all be all card in my head from everything I've heard, and I'd be like, no, you just got a base Charizard out of this set. That's nothing. I wouldn't know it. It's not like I get the concepts. I pull a Shohei Ohtani base card out of a Topps base. That's not worth anything. But how to learn what matters, that's a whole nother story. All right, so here we go. Here's his big two as far as I'm concerned. For all I know, those were big. But this one's a Vaporeon, full art, really cool looking. I don't know if this is my favorite of his 5 or the next one is. I think this one is. This one is. Yeah, the next one looks really neat. It's definitely very different. I've seen a lot of, like, here's another one. This one will be cleaning on the next video, but here's another full art one. They look different, but they look the same. They're full art. It's fine. The next one is completely different from anything I've seen. It also doesn't help that it's in a different. It helps that it's in a different language. Makes it look different. Makes it look weirder. But so yeah, I like the next one, but I think because it's different, that's why I like it. Whereas this one actually looks cooler, in my opinion. You start kicking out more like the next one, and I'd be like, oh yeah, it's just one of those. But yeah, Eevee. I like from the Pokemon Go game, I like the whole Eevee evolutions and making sure I got one of each Eevee, and that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with the whole Eevee thing. I still level my Eevees and hope to get more powerful Jolteons and Vaporeons and all. Alright, so there we go. Alright, and then here's the last one. And then after this one, we'll be cracking my 5. And that I have a little bit of nervousness about. But here we go. This is the one I was talking about. It's in a different language. It looks like all Egyptian and stuff. I don't know. I don't think the writing's Egyptian. It's probably Japanese or Korean or something like that. But it's definitely got an Egyptian feel to it in its look and stuff. And it's Mew or Mewtwo. I don't know the difference, but it's a really neat look. But when you take the fact that I don't see anything like this, that makes it really different. I see stuff like this all the time, so it doesn't look different. But when I really look at them and say which one do I enjoy the look of more, I think I enjoy the Vaporeon. I think I enjoy the Zekrom more for the look. Now I am noticing on this one, I don't know if you can really see it, but I am noticing that the edging on it looks a little bit like that corner. It's hard to see, but in person the edging looks a little bit like it may have been banged up in the package. So hopefully I'm seeing things, or that it's so minor that it doesn't affect its grade. I'd really like it to get a 10. I do believe, and I don't remember, you know me and my memory, how bad I am about conversations. I do believe that he's not expecting a 10. I do believe that he's encasing it for the sake of saving it, protecting it, and that he'd be happy with an anything. He even said at one point, and I'm sure he was partially joking, at least mostly joking, but a certain level of him and his thought process, I think, was real. Was he said, I'd rather a 1 than a 9. You know, a 1 is rarer. If you look at how many pop count, you're gonna have a lot less 1s than. I'm like, yeah, but you could probably, if you wanted to, you could probably just make a 1. Probably just find one, buy it, crumble it up, send it in, make it a 1, and then you'd have a low pop count. But not sure that that's the best way to go about things. All right, guys. So we're gonna go one at a time. First one, I showed you the Abra. Now I don't know. Normally I crack from the top up here, but I don't know if that's a clear piece of paper inside, a sticker. I don't know if I crack it and it's going to be shattered into 2 pieces. I'm going to try my best to open this and keep the tags like we did in the past, the labels like we did in the past, but I don't know how that's going to work with tag. If not, I have it on the video, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, there we go. Whew. For those of you looking at my jersey, I don't remember if I showed you this one before or not. This one is Shane Falco, quarterback of the Replacements, the Washington, I don't even remember the name of the team, but the movie is The Replacements. It is Keanu Reeves. I've shown you a bunch of these jerseys. I feel like I've shown you most, if not all of them. And I may be repeating now. I am looking to get more. I just haven't gotten to that point yet where I've ordered more. I've got so much going on right now. Alright, I don't expect this to open like this, but let's find out if I can stick. Okay, so to keep you updated, I was able to clip the top across the top like that. And now I've got a razor blade. There's a little line right there between the two. I'm showing if I can just kind of get the razor blade tip in there and like that. All right. Feel it separating. Yes, yes. Get in there. Don't cut your finger off, Spec. Yes. Alright, I twisted just a little and the side popped, which is what I was looking for. Just trying to get enough distance that I can get this guy in there. Really what I need, and I didn't bring one, was a flathead screwdriver. Washington Sentinels, thank you. Thank you. The Washington Sentinels. Alright, that's what I was looking for. Alright, so I tore this piece off. So this sticker is part of the actual plastic background. I am noticing, and I did not realize this, that the card is not in a sleeve. That does not make me excited about the concept of how this works. Alright. Let us try out I've cracked quite a few cards by now. And I didn't have as much trouble as I'm having with tag. Now, I was kind of trying something different. And maybe I should go more standard with how I crack. Alright, so now I've cracked this part here. I'm going to do the same thing I did at the top and hope that... My fear is cracking it and it going crack like that and scratching right across where I'm cracking it. That's my fear. But I think of the 4 cards I have, this is the least valuable one. So it's the one I want to try it on. And it was the 9, so it's already the one that's not in the best condition. I think that was nice. I think that cracked it right off. Yep, sure did. All right, that's enough. That should be enough for me to get it out of there. Perfect. All right, that was not the best, easiest thing in the world, but at the same time, I don't feel like we did too much damage to it. Now, one thing is, I was cracking it right over the microfiber. So if there's a shard of that you got to be more careful with that. More thought process. All right. I don't think that wiping these off, if they were already 9s and 10s, makes a lot of sense anyway. I probably should just, I don't know. But then at the same time, you sit here and go, well, you are putting it through a removal process that might get some dust of the previous holder on it. All right, there we go, guys. It's now going. I debated back and forth whether I wanted to crack these or not. We're gonna find out. All right. Here's number 2. This is a 9. These are my two. Those are my 2 9s, and then the other 3 are 10s. This is a Skeldridge EXE 2023 Pokemon's SV Japan Shiny Treasure. I didn't even read off what the thing was, but let's find out. So yeah, the Washington Sentinels, Keanu Reeves, that's his jersey that I'm wearing. That's my new thing. If you've been watching the videos, you do know that I have a bunch of different... Woo! Okay, so let's show you what that did. That was a... Luckily we didn't go down into the card, but I did take part of the numbering. I don't think that was the worst thing in the world. Yes, because it did do that. Nice. All right. Perfect. That one was a lot easier. I didn't want it to break that the label, but I did manage to. Why is it like it's stuck? Oh, come on, get off of there. It's stuck to the... This is definitely going to get it scratched. It's what's it called? Static electricity is holding it. Whew. I hope that no damage was done in that process. I don't see anything. The biggest problem would have been along this edge where I cracked. But I think we're in good shape. We'll find out. Was a 9. It was a tag 9. Let's see what it is. PSA. So my friends are starting to make fun of me. I have all these PSA cards, or I should say graded cards. They're not all PSA, but I have all these graded cards. And the whole purpose was, I mean, it's not much different than me faltering as a breaker. See, the plan for the breaker was, we'll talk about it once I get this going, but here we go. 2002 WOTC Pokemon New York Black Star Promo Ho-Ho 10. Alright. So the thought process when I was breaking was I started buying into breaks. That's how it started. And I had a lot of fun doing it, but I was spending money and definitely not getting my money back, although the first couple times I did so amazing that it took me a while to realize how much money I was throwing away doing it. And now, after the fact, I definitely should have sold off those 2 cards that I won in my first 2 breaks when people were trying to throw money at me. But you live, you learn. But I started thinking, and I was like, I don't really have a real job. I was Ubering at the time. I was making real good money Ubering in the grand scheme of things. I could do these breaks. I could buy the product, maybe on a smaller scale, but I could do these breaks. Look at that. I think that one will work so much better. Let's find out. If I need to, I could have trimmed. I can start trimming all the way around it if I think that'll help. But we want to stick it in up here so we're not accidentally poking through to the card. See, just like that. And then calm down. Ooh, and I just damaged the card. See that? See what I just did there? That's why you gotta be careful. I just screwed this up very bad. There's no way this is a 10 anymore. It's not a 9 either. I'm gonna say 7. I just went from a tag 10 to a PSA 7 is my guess, because I'm a freaking moron. It's okay. It's a card I bought for $26 that I was trying. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if I touch it at this point. Trying something new, and because I tried something new, I believe this is arguably the most valuable of the 5 cards too. I don't know exactly, but I think when I priced them out when I first got them, I was surprised to see that this was the most valuable. I don't know if that's still the case, but damn it. So annoyed. All right, well, that's accidents happen. But what I was saying was I could buy the product, do the break, sell off all the teams except for the 1 or 2 that I would like. Every once in a while, even keep the expensive teams, take a loss, but doesn't matter that I'm taking a loss because I would have taken a loss if I bought into the break. So it would be the same thing as if I bought into a break and I took a loss. So I started doing that, and I did really well, actually. Not well like I was making bank or anything. Man, I'm so pissed. But I did well in the sense that I got random good cards. I paid for most of the box, etc. And then everything kind of went to hell because of eBay. And I guess I should show you the card. This is the Houndour, Ruler of Black Flame, Art Rare, Pokemon SV Japan. So, see how this goes. Try to be a little more careful. That one broke a lot easier at the top. That's nice. And then eBay screwed things up and made it impossible for me to keep going. And so let's see if you know all the story, but the point I was making is I just kind of folded. I looked into doing it on Whatnot, and then I got a real job, and then time, and I could still be doing it, and I'm just not. And so what I was saying is the way this is the same is that I have all these cards, and the plan was I'm going to send cards into grade. I'm going to send cards that I think have value as being graded, but I'm also going to send in cards I want. And as I send in cards I want and they don't get the grades I want, I'm just going to sell them off and use whatever money, even though it's going to be a loss, use whatever money to try to replace them again and keep doing it. Buy a 1987 Fleer box 7 times if I have to finally get myself a 9 or a 10 Mark McGuire Fleer, if that's what I've got to do. And I've got stacks and stacks and stacks of graded cards over there. And my friends are just starting to laugh at me because it's like, you're never going to sell any of it. You're just going to keep sending. Here we go. Send 40 more cards, half of which are mine at least. And they're going to come back, and I'm just going to add another 20 to the pile and sell none of them. I got to get past that. I've got to get set up and sell some of these cards. All right, final one of this video. This is a Heracross Pokemon Clayburst Art Rare. This is my favorite of those 5 from a look standpoint. From a price standpoint, I don't know or really care too much about their prices. It's a 10, just like the previous 2, the Houndour and the Ho-Oh. And that's the only one. The Ho-Oh we're not really counting, but we want to see how close does PSA grade these cards to tag. We've sent in stuff from Next Level Grade before, and now we're sending in from Tag, and eventually someday I'm sure I'll be sending in some of my cards from Beckett. I've got quite a few Beckett cards over there, which is the first stuff I used to buy way back in the day. Got tons of Rays rookies, Longoria, David Price, stuff like that I bought as Beckett 9.5s. I might have done the best job on this one, which makes sense. You get better as you go, right? If that's the case, why did you screw up the middle one? I tried a different strategy, and it was a dumb strategy, and I realize that now. I don't know if that was on camera or not, but when I picked it up, my thumb caught it here and it bent the card a little, folded it over a little. Not like a crease fold, just you know, like when they come rounded, you're like, people say, oh, you know, it doesn't matter if they're rounded like this, you know, they don't take off for that, which is good. But yeah, that's what I think I did. So I think we're okay still. I think getting it out of here is the biggest. There we go. Nice. Oh, I used the floor mat. But yeah, I'm hoping for at least, like, the Oho is the fourth one. I don't even count. Now to me there are 4 cards I'm sending. See, this was a 10, and I don't think I did any damage to it. But right here, there, I can't see if you can see it. Yeah, you can see there's a little dimple there. I wonder if it was there before I opened it or not. So I don't expect to get a 10. I'm hoping that my hope in advance was that the 9s come back a 9 and that the 10s come back. You know, I had 3 10s going. I was hoping for 2 10s to come back. Now I'm hoping for 1 10 to come back. I mean, obviously I'm hoping for all of them to come back as 10s. That'd be great, but let's be realistic here. You screwed it up, dude. You screwed it up. I gotta find a better way. I'm going to look into a better way to crack graded cards. But first video, that's the end. Here we go. We got Lucas's. We got Ricky's, Zapdos, Ninetales, Raichu, Vaporeon, and Mew. And then my Abra, which came out okay. Skittle. This is the one that I think has the best chance of remaining a 9 or getting a 10. This one's going to drop down to 7. This hopefully comes back as a 10. This one I think drops because of, you can't see it in this case, but I think there's a little thing there. So there we go. Those are the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards. We'll have 10 cards in the next video, and I will see you guys then.